Hi, I'm Cindy Wilson, and this is Home Sweet Home Crafty Creations. Before we get into today's video on spring decor on a really easy budget, I'll tell you, it will not hurt you in the least. I just want you to know I have been out thrifting and I found some amazing pieces, and these pieces will be redone in the next video, and hopefully that will be up within the next 5 or 6 days. Really looking forward to this. I think all of you will like what's going on with these ones too. And I just need you to take a look at that goblet that I just had in my hand a second ago. It kind of reminds me of that Indiana Jones movie, the Last Crusade, I believe it was, where they find the Holy Grail. As soon as I saw that, I thought, Holy Grail. So who knows what we're going to do with that? Hope you're there for it. On to today's video and today's projects. All you're going to need is a little Mod Podge. I used the gloss finish one. Doesn't matter which one you use, they all work the same in the end. I also used some canvases from the dollar store. Just a simple, I believe, 8x10 canvases, some photocopy paper. You'll need a printer, color printer preferably, and copy paper, like I said, and that's it. All I did was I went online and I'm going to do a couple of religious pieces for Easter. I found a crucifix that I really liked, took it into CorelDRAW, resized it to the size that I needed, and simple as that, pre-printed, no I did not pre-print, and printed it onto a plain piece of copy paper. I selected the draft setting. That makes it just a little bit lighter than it normally would if you print on either text or image or photo settings. Or if you have the option for draft, print on that one. It does a nice little light image on the paper for you. After that was printed, I had found some sheet music online, and all I did was refeed in the, oh, here's Bob, by the way. Yes, Bob is still in the craft room. Bob was still checking there, I believe, to see if the ink was adequate for the print. The second half of this is I took the image of the crucifix that I had printed and refed it back into the printer into the same way that it would normally print. It prints on top, so I made sure the image was on top or would feed into on top. Printed a gospel hymn on top of it for the first one. Then I printed a rabbit, and I printed He Has Risen on the old rugged cross music sheet. Next of all, took the Mod Podge and gave it a generous coating on the canvas. Placed the printed images on top of it and just began to rub it by hand, by the palm of my hand, more so than anything, I think. Helped to smooth it out, get rid of all those wrinkles. We don't want them to wrinkle. And as a final touch at the end, I took a plastic bag, put that over my fingers, and massaged some more wrinkles out of the print. For all of the sheet music that I used, I actually just Googled sheet music, gospel music, I believe the old rugged cross. I actually used those words, and this is what I came up with. I will leave links to all those sheet music sites that I found in the description box below in case you are looking for them. With this project, I did 3 all total, just because that's the way I am sometimes. And the copy paper, I had cut it down just before I put it on the canvases. But I ended up taking just a little, I'm assuming that's a craft knife. It came with one of the dollar store cutting mats that I picked up a while back, and just cut the edge of the paper off. The only one that I chose to put Mod Podge to seal over top of was the Easter Parade one, and it was fine. No problem at all, and unfortunately I don't have an image to show you that it took no problem, and it did bubble at first. But as it dried, it settled right down. There was no bubbling. And then I got the foolish idea to possibly maybe put a second coat of sealer on it, give it like a heavier gloss finish, a more I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. Almost an epoxy resin. There we go. That's the words I'm looking for. Finish. And it didn't happen. And all I did was, in succeeding, was to cause the image to bubble. You saw probably a bit of it right there. But it did bubble, and I'm really not happy with myself for pushing it that far and putting 2 coats on. The other 2 I did not seal at all, and they're just fine the way they are for me. I needed a little stand to put these on, and the closest I could come to was some square dowels that I picked up at the dollar store. A little bit of hot glue attaching one smaller one to one slightly bigger one to it, and then for the back of it, 2 extended triangles to prop the canvas up against. You'll see in a second they turned up really well. I considered leaving them unfinished, but thought a little bit better of it and ended up giving them just a thin coat, one quick one of the white chalk paint, and that seemed to work enough for me. It's not perfect, but that's okay. Once all the paint was dry and all the seal was dry, it was time to add a little embellishments to each one of these, and I chose my copper carrot for the Easter parade one. I chose to put a beaded, almost rosary looking type piece with a tassel on the end of it for the He Will Come Again. And for He Has Risen and the old rugged cross one, just some daisies that I'd had from a floral pick. I think the 3 of them look amazing together and separate. And like I said, the He Has Risen, or He Will Come Again, sorry, and He Has Risen are not sealed, and they're perfectly flat. You can see on the left-hand side of the Easter parade one, there is a bit of bubbled area, and well, I can't fix that now. For the second project, I used a wire wreath frame from Dollarama, and I had picked up something called Bonnie craft cord. I picked it up at Amazon, and I believe it was $22 or $23. I'll leave a link to it down at the bottom. It's 6mm craft cord used for macrame, and it served the purpose that I needed. I didn't want any of the dark colored wreath showing through in between the macrame. And so I spray painted it with duplicolor enamel paint that I had kicking around the house. And basically it's weaving in and out the cord all the way around the wreath, sealing it in the back, and wherever you came to with a post on the front of the wreath, just grab your glue gun, run a bead of glue down the front of it, and cover the post completely. Do not weave past that point. I picked up a flower pick from Dollarama. All the colors were involved, or all the pieces, different flowers were involved in one pick, and I lucked out there by cutting them apart and re-adding them to the wreath separately. I think they turned out amazing. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider liking, sharing, subscribing, coming back, whatever makes you happy. I'd be glad to see you again. I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. Everything used in today's projects is listed in the description box down below. Look forward to seeing all of you again. Bye for now.